Hello, people of YouTube. My name is Steve Gray, and thank you for watching. Today, we're going to be talking about My Hero Academia, Season 5, Episode 5. Definitely an interesting episode. We definitely got less of the Class 1A versus 1B in this. The intro of this was kind of a quick little breakdown of last episode. It wasn't as bad as the previous episode where they dedicated like a solid minute to it. So a minute and a half, 2 minutes. This is about 40 seconds. So I can deal with a 40-second preview, then introduction. And then we kind of go into what everybody did wrong. So Class 1B, it was more they weren't working as a team. They were all kind of centered around the Bigfoot guy. And that's ultimately why they lost. They were centered around the Vine Girl and the Bigfoot guy. As opposed to Class 1A, where Asui needs to stop worrying about her mistakes in order to, fix future mistakes. Koda should have gave better directions to the animals. Denki, he should have took things more seriously from the beginning. If he did, they would have been in the situation. And then who else was in that group as well? Oh yeah, Kirishima needs to work on getting his opponents into a one-on-one fight because he is a good close combat brawler. And then Shinso, he needs to kind of make up for his lack of experience, figure out what he's doing with the weapons that he has to use and the hero support that he has to use. And that was kind of the beginning of it. Then there is a kind of a segment where everybody is planning out what they want to do. And of course, heaven forbid we go one episode without seeing somebody's dump truck. We got to see Mina's dump truck in this episode. I'll give you a nice little picture. I gave you a picture in the last episode as well. I thought that's kind of funny. It'll be a while before we see Deku fight Mina, Unaraka, etc. So we'll see how that pans out and what exactly happens with that. But I think this arc's going to be a little bit longer than I thought, because I was like, oh, this is just going to be like a one episode per fight scenario. Not necessarily. It's looking more like a 2 episode per fight scenario. I believe there's 40 students, 4 people in each group. That means there's 10 pairs. So even if that's like 2 that would literally take up the entire season. I'm hoping this doesn't take up the entire season. It might. There is a possibility that it might. But if we're on 2 episodes per fight, there's really not going to be a lot left of this season for kind of the other plot points that we talked about in the beginning. Deku getting stronger. The whole Todoroki thing going on with that family. League of Villains. What's going on with Hawks? Apparently Hawks is a major fan favorite. He was in the manga anyway. I believe he is as well too. We got to see a little bit of him. We also got to see what him and Tokiomi basically did during the work study, and it was a lot of cleanup. So all the support that Hawks has is basically Hawks catching people being super fast, going on to the next person because he is super fast, and then his hero support kind of taking the villains to jail and cleaning up the mess that he leaves behind. Hawks even said, he was like, look, I understand I'm super fast. I understand it's probably not what you want to do, but at the end of the day, I can get as many villains as I can by continuing what I'm doing. If I keep doing this, yes, it's going to suck for you because you're not really helping. You're just kind of cleaning up the mess. But this is what you have to do to get all these criminals off the streets. So, I mean, it's kind of a double-edged sword is the best way to describe that. Where, Hawks is doing his thing, but at the same time, all of his hero support is basically they can't keep up with him. They can't chase him. There's really nothing they can do. And this is where we learn that Tokiomi, or Dark Shadow, if you will. That's his quirk anyway. He has the ability to freaking fly now. So Dark Shadow always floats. We've seen it over and over and over again. So what happens is Dark Shadow wraps his arms around Tokiomi, and this allows him to fly. And then he uses the cloak to hide Dark Shadow in order to keep him from the light, so that way his powers don't dwindle, and then he can fly. It was kind of a Tokiomi versus Kirio match, if I'm pronouncing his name correctly. This guy is literally solid black, like the color of night, minus his hair. His hair is white, which I think it would work better for him if he shaved his head like I do, because then you really won't be able to see him. But who knows? So he has the ability to kind of seep into darkness, where he can literally control things. And immediately my thought was, oh, he's going to take over Dark Shadow. And what does he do? Take over Dark Shadow. So it's pretty much everybody versus him at this point in time. And none of them can get their act together. The group is Momo, Togiomi, Invisible Chick, Hagakira, and Oama. Oh god, I'm butchering names again. Laser Beam Boy. Pulling up the character list. And pretty much Yuga, we'll call him by his first name, it's easier to pronounce. He gets taken out like immediately by Dark Guy. So it's pretty bad. He's just like screaming like a little girl. He's pretty useless. Although he does make use of his naval laser when Tokiomi is flying, because then there's no shadows. If there's no shadows, then where is Mr. Kiroiro going to hide? I'm probably butchering this dude's name. Shihai? We'll say Shihai. That's his first name. We're going with Shihai. Gotta stop butchering these names. I got them in front of me. They're friggin' hard to pronounce, let me tell you. Then, moving on, we also have Kendo, whose name I can actually pronounce, the pretty girl from 1B. And she shows up, and that she is kind of Plan B. So their initial plan was, oh, let's grab a few of them with Mr. Shadow Boy. Get a few of the weaker ones out of the way, capture them, get them out of the way, and then move on. But she has her little master plan too. There's also a mushroom girl in there as well. Like, she just like grows mushrooms on stuff. So that was really freaking weird. But there was like a little bit of psychological warfare, because in the beginning of it, Shihai said to Togiomi that, hey, look, we're destined to be rivals. We're destined to meet each other. We're both dark elements. I control dark things. I'm going to control you. So it was that little bit of psychiatric warfare going on between the two of them that kind of threw him off. I'm going to give this one, I think we're going to see Class 1B win this. Moving forward, I think Class 1A is going to lose this. They're already kind of all over the place now. They're kind of trying to. It seems like they're all focusing on one person, and they don't realize that there's 3 other people they also have to deal with? Question mark. So I think we're going to see a nice little Momo versus Kendo fight. That'll be interesting. They're kind of rivals as well. Nasolaver and Invisible Girl. Who knows what's happening with those two? Hopefully she's useful, but at the same time, mushrooms grew all over her body. We actually got to see a mushroom grow directly off of Momo's nose, which was kind of creepy. But Invisible Girl isn't going to be useful if she's covered in mushrooms and everybody can see her, because obviously her best ability is staying hidden. Nobody can figure out where she is, what she is doing, but how is she supposed to do that if she's got mushrooms all over her? I don't know if it's something as simple where you can just kind of smack them off. I'm not really sure how that whole situation works out, but clearly things that grow off of her body, I guess, are not invisible, which I thought that's kind of weird, because if it's directly, unless it's just on top of her skin, so I feel like it has to be on top of her skin and not directly growing from her skin, because if it was growing directly from her skin, I assumed it would also be invisible, so that did throw me off a little bit. But that pretty much sums up the bulk of this episode. I think Class 1B, maybe it'll be fairly quick next episode, maybe the first 5-10 minutes or so. Hopefully they're going to win, and we're going to start the next battle as well. Because just think of it this way: if all of these matches take a full 2 episodes, there's the entire season right there. There's the whole 25 episodes. I don't think they're going to do that. I think we're probably going to get about halfway through the season with these. At least that's my guess. Not 100% positive on that, but I think we're probably going to get up to episode 12, episode 13 with this fighting. So expect to see that happen for the next several episodes. And then we'll probably get more into the League of Villains, more into the Todoroki family, things along those lines, more into One for All for One. All that fun little jazz for the foreseeable future. I'm going to give this one 7 out of 10. Left some questions unanswered that I wanted answers to. Definitely not the most perfect episode. They could have kind of wrapped up some of it a little quicker. I definitely felt like they didn't waste half of the episode, but I feel like they could have made the first half of the episode shorter. Like, you don't need the preview. Stop doing the previews. Get rid of that altogether. Unnecessary. The summary of the last fight, we already saw the last fight. You know, the viewers aren't dumb. We can come to our own conclusions as to why what happened. And then and just kind of like make it like a 5-minute thing where they're reflecting on what they did. You had Aizawa come out, Mr. Eraserhead, kind of explain what happened. Same with the other teacher as well for Class 1B, saying, you know, you needed to do teamwork all together. You heavily relied on 2 of your team members. That's what led to your ultimate downfall. I feel like that could have been summed up a little bit quicker, and then we could have got more of the fight. But obviously, you know, schedules, how they work out is what it is. So we'll leave it there. 7 out of 10. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. While you're down there, hit that subscribe button, turn on that notification bell, and leave a like as well. My name is Steve Gray. Thank you for watching, and as always, have a good one.